Well, here we are, and I am playing Far Cry New Dawn. I did a 5 on this, and I figured it would actually be kind of beneficial. I haven't posted any gameplay videos in a while. I figured I would do a video where I kind of talked about my experiences in Far Cry New Dawn. A little bit further at length than the 5, obviously. That's only 5 minutes. But I wanted to kind of just show you guys what my experience is in this game. Because I've been enjoying it quite a bit, and I've seen some, I would say some mixed reviews. They generally seem to be favorable, but there are a number of them that complain about the fact that this appears to just be an add-on or an expansion, which to some degree is true. This is basically the map of Far Cry 5. I'm in the home base of Prosperity right now. But this is essentially, if you look at the map, which I'll show you here, this is basically Far Cry 5, so that is accurate. This is the map. It does seem like it's on a smaller scale, from what you can see here. There's some of the map I haven't uncovered up here. But it is basically Far Cry 5, a sequel. But some of the reasons that I don't really care about... what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do what's called scavenging. This is something I'll explain in a minute. It is both dumb and amusing to me. But the complaints about this being just expanded DLC... While there is some merit to that as far as the content itself, sort of. I mean, recycling the map, mission types. Although if you're going to make that complaint, I think you go back to Far Cry 3 and everything is... So, yes and no. But the thing that sort of offsets that for me with this game is, and I think I mentioned this in the 5, number one is the price. It's $40. It's a $40 game. No doubt a month from now, it'll be down to $30 or $20. For that price, certainly I think I've gotten plenty of entertainment out of it. So I don't find that if this was a $60 game, honestly, if this was a $60 game, I still probably wouldn't be upset that I had bought it. But I would understand to a better, more, I would not sympathize the wrong word, I would agree with some of the criticisms of it more. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm doing what's called scavenging a base. So just like in Far Cry 5, there are outposts that you take over. These outposts give you one of the kind of the main currency of the game, which is ethanol, or ethanol, however you're supposed to pronounce it. And what they do is to introduce a bit of a grinding element, although honestly I haven't found it to be grinding at all because, well, I'll explain that. You can retake these facilities. Now it makes no sense. Once you liberate these, you're essentially ceding them back to the enemy troops of the game called the Highwaymen, who work for the Twins, which are the main villains. And you let them take it back over, and so they bring in heavier artillery because you have already liberated it once, and then you just keep repeating that, and you get more and more for doing it. It makes no sense. There is absolutely no sense to why, after liberating an outpost, you would suddenly just bail on it, and they wouldn't immediately be suspicious that you weren't going to attack it again. But I don't really care, because what I do is I let my companions do the work. So here we have Nana, who is the elderly sniper woman, and I just have her do everything. Because I don't care. What do I care? It doesn't matter to me. At this point, I've unlocked every perk that there is in the game, so it really is not a big deal to me to just let the companions do the work. And honestly, I kind of enjoy watching the computer fight itself. Because that's what it's doing. The computer is essentially playing against itself. And I find that to be highly amusing. Okay, so did she kill him yet? So basically you retake these areas, and that then gives you... Okay, go to your sight line. I mean, she does get confused. It does kind of show the creaks of the AI. But this will grant ethanol, and it will grant more than the first time. It increases every time. Okay, so she got him. That red mark is gone. Oh, but somebody must have seen her, because the music has changed, which indicates a sighting. I don't know where you saw it. Okay, she's fighting with somebody. Okay, she's coming towards me, so I need to move, or they're going to see me, in which case, not that I really care, especially this is only a level 2 base, I think. You get a bonus if you're not spotted, which I really don't care that much about, but why not? It's entertaining to at least try. If they spot me, then it will become an all guns blazing type of scenario, and that's fine too. But basically the game in essence is exactly what Far Cry 5 was, except that they have really spruced up. If you look, it's much more colorful if you saw from the menus, and from just the general look of the game, it is a because this is supposed to be a post-apocalypse where the nuclear bomb... Ooh, get him. Where the nuclear bomb from Far Cry 5 has gone off, so this is a continuation of that storyline. That has somehow made everything just much more colorful. There's graffiti all over the place, which we'll probably see some of. But essentially, this is just continuing... Oh, somebody saw me. Well, okay, now it doesn't matter anymore, so let's start bringing out the big guns. Let's see, kill that guy. Here we go. Let's see if I can get to the alarm before they do, which just means I have to fight a few more guys. I really don't even care. But, oh, now they got the alarm, so I'm going to be fighting some more guys. Oh, well, it's not a big deal. I mean, at this point, I'm powerful enough that reinforcements don't even matter. I'll collect some stuff. But you can sort of see the color work that's at play here, where there's more colorful stuff happening. Oh, she got him. Let's see, anybody else? I mean, I don't know if there's a point in blowing up the alarm now. There we go, another guy. Hey, buddy. Hey, have some razor blades in your face. This is the saw blade one. Actually, we got rid of it. Out of the way, moron. Okay. So basically, this is the same as taking over an outpost in the other game. The only difference is the scavenge thing, which is, like I said, a ridiculous idea. In that, why would they ever allow you to take over? Why would they come back to the base? It just makes no narrative sense. But again, I've said this before about Far Cry. I don't come to Far Cry for narrative perfection. Ooh, hold on a minute. Let me see if I can do something here. Whee! I don't know if that's going to reach me. Nope, didn't reach me. Let's try this one. Hooah! Good night. Yep, okay. I'm going to craft some more of these things. Let's see. Got that guy. Saw blade launcher is quite nice, I'll say that. Alright, take off that guy. Take some off this guy. Oh, helicopter. I don't know if I can hit a helicopter with the blades. Probably not. Yeah, I don't think so. Really wouldn't make sense to be able to hit a helicopter with a saw blade. But, so this is basically, if you liked Far Cry, you're going to like this. It's the same game. It really is. And I know some people will look at that as a detriment. I don't. I look at that as, that's the reason I got this. I wanted some more Far Cry. I love the colors and how bright and colorful everything is. It does feel like it is, you know, yes, they probably could have spent another 6 months to a year and made a full game out of this. But I'll be honest, Far Cry 5 had a similar problem where there came up... Ooh, wait a minute, I'm supposed to get a... There's an achievement for throwing a shield at... No, I don't want the body, you idiots. Okay, I want the shield. There we go. You can actually kill people with the shield, and I think there's a thing for that, so I might as well try it. Yeah, watch out, watch out. So the... Oh, there he is. Ah, I missed. Hold on. Where's the shield? Damn it, where'd that shield go? I don't even care about... Oh, is it over there? No, it didn't. Where'd it go? So, to me, there came a point in Far Cry 5 where I felt like the game was kind of overstaying its welcome a bit. And I kind of was... I mean, I was still enjoying it, but it had kind of worn out a little bit, the novelty of it. Whereas this, because it's shorter, I think that the distance between the point at which I'm like, okay, I'm kind of done with this game now, and I think that will be I don't know if I'll reach that point the same way, because I really haven't gotten sick of it. There's been enough variety in it, there's been enough interesting things to do, and, you know, leveling up the companions has actually been very fun. I didn't know if I was going to enjoy that as much, but all the companions now are maxed out, and that allows you to actually utilize them. That's one thing that's kind of nice about the system of leveling these people up. Okay, so who's left? She's out there, so somebody's still here. Otherwise, I would have won the base already. I just don't know where they are. So I think the leveling system for the companions works fairly well. There's a good variety that allows for, honestly, any type of play type. You can really... The companions all have very diverse abilities that all come into play very well, in that you can, if you want to play it where you're shooting everything, the game doesn't care. If you want to try to stealth everything, you've got at least a couple of companions who can do that. You have the dog is great for actually completing the challenges because he will spot items, which takes away one of my major frustrations with games like this, especially games that really go heavy on the collectible idea. When the collectibles become very hard to find, or, you know, you're stuck on that last one of the, you know, you've got 5 of the 6 and you just cannot find the 6th one, that's where a lot of games fall down for me. And this one, because you have that companion where I can call the dog in, it doesn't happen. Because the dog will come in, will kind of run around the area, and he will spot that last elusive item for the collectible. And so if you do care about it, if you're like me and you like to do all the collectible stuff and get all that material, where is this person? This is the thing that's sort of, I've never had it where I couldn't find the last person. This is sort of new. See the graffiti I'm talking about here? Now this is obviously not very bright and colorful, but you can see examples of it around. I have no idea where this last person is. Either there's a glitch or this person is, well, speaking of marking people, let's bring in Timber. Get Timber in here, and wherever this person is, Timber will find them, because he will spot them. It's really weird, though. Usually, especially with the amount of shooting and the fact that the alarm went off, usually they come find you. So that's different. I haven't had that happen before. But, oh, wait a minute. Where is he? Okay, he spotted him. Or maybe, yes, did he? Did he spot him? I thought I saw a red mark. I don't see it. Where is he, Timber? Where is the last person in here? Because you know when you complete it because... Oh, wait a minute, I heard something. I heard yelling. Oh, is this a couple of guys down here? Let's see. No, that's not. Oh, he's stuck in the tree. Oh, that's hilarious. I've never seen that before. That is a first. So the elite enemy is stuck in the tree. Okay. Throw a shield out there. There we go. I hit him with a shield. Oh, where did that shield go? I might be able to hit him again. That is hilarious. I've never had that happen before where they got stuck like that. I mean, it sort of makes sense. I was wondering why the enemy hadn't found me. Well, now I know, and he's not really going anywhere, so there's no rush. So yeah, this game does have its share of glitches, clearly. The AI being one of them. Also, for some reason, the subtitles always come back, even though I keep telling them to turn off. Not a huge annoyance to me, but just kind of amusing. Well, since he's just hanging there, I guess I'll just kill him. Well, let me get Nana back. Because why not? She's good. She's great for range, I'll say that. She's extremely good for range. Okay, he's just hanging there. Well, I can finish him off then. I don't really need her for that. So we'll give this guy an arrow in the face. And let's aim a little bit. Oh, did I miss? Or I'm just not hitting him for much. Interesting. Okay. Well, he's got to be shielded or something. Let's hit him in the face. What are they launching mortars at him? There we go. Okay. Now we have it. So I like the way the companions are utilized, and I believe companion leveling was present in Far Cry 5, although I don't really remember the companions being as versatile in that one. They may have been, and maybe I just didn't utilize them as much, but I have really found uses for almost all the companions in this one. I actually have kind of enjoyed using the companions as toolboxes to an extent, where that each of them is for a different thing. Like if there's a particularly difficult stronghold, I'll bring in Herc with his rocket launcher. If it's, like I said, for collectibles, the dog has been very good for that. The story missions themselves have been relatively straightforward. Now, one thing that I have done that I don't know that everybody's going to play this way is one of the first things I do is get the companions, level them up. You know, in fact, let's go ahead and just redo this one again, because I can just talk through it. So you can just see, this is exactly what I do. So there's nothing, you're already in the outpost. Okay, so just stay nearby then. So I go ahead and I get certain skills leveled up very quickly. I kind of run around, do a lot of what they call treasure hunts in this game, which was the prepper stashes in the last game. That rewards you with a whole bunch of points that you can put into perks, that type of thing. And so it did not take me long to become pretty powerful. And that the benefit. Yeah, I know it is. I put it back in their hands. Yeah, okay. So the benefit of that is that I was able to really kind of honestly glide through the missions for all intents and purposes. I did not find the missions to be particularly difficult so far because I've upgraded myself enough that it doesn't matter. Now let's see. She can actually kill elite enemies who you see don't show up with the red marks. They're kind of hidden, but once you mark them for her, she can do it. Let's see. Is she going to get him? Get him. Come on, Nana. Okay, well, she been spotted? Oh, that guy's moving around. Wow, she usually doesn't miss this badly. Nope, she got him. Okay. Get him. So So like I said, the companions feel like they are more versatile. I feel like they have more use in this game, more utility than they did in the last one. I haven't found any of the missions to be particularly difficult or cheap or anything like that. There were a couple where I think there were one or two of the side missions where I had to use a guide because I just kind of, some of the way it was trying to explain how to do things didn't exactly work. But I didn't find that happened very often. The story, as with all these, the story is sort of pointless. It doesn't really matter. The bomb went off. These two sisters, who actually, that is the one thing that I wish this game did better, was utilizing the sisters, because you don't usually see enemies that are quite like the sisters are. They're a brutal set of female twins, and I kind of like the fact that they're different from most of the protagonists in this series, which are generally single enemies who are, megalomaniacs. Generally, you're fighting some kind of psycho who has command of an army, and it makes no sense why this person would have command of the people that he does. Whereas the twins, they have a different mentality. Like, they're not just ruthlessly cruel. They are, and the fact that there's two of them also to me makes a lot more sense, because there is always kind of like, we'll just kill the leader and so ends the leadership and somebody takes over. I like the fact that there's two of them. Okay, she's going to get caught if she's not careful. Somebody's going to see her. If not the guy she's assassinating, somebody will see her. How is she killing the guy? Is she going right up to him? Okay. Sometimes for a sniper, she's not the smartest, but that's okay. That's, like I said, that sort of shows you the faults in the AI. So I like them as villains. Outside of, they have about the same motivation as half the Far Cry villains, which is just they want everything. There's not much more to them yet. I have read a little bit about where their storyline goes. It doesn't seem particularly compelling. There does seem to be some kind of... There's a theme to this game in, broken or missing fathers. The Joseph Seed character returns and has a son who's pissed off at him. I've already met him. He seems unhinged even for a cult leader. So I can already see where that storyline is going. But, again, I don't look at Far Cry as a narrative type of game. I look at it as a toolbox. It's just a kind of chaos toolbox. And in that respect, I have no disappointments with this game. Oh yeah, she's gonna get killed, I'm pretty sure. Oh, get out of the way of the sniper. Do not want the sniper. Oh, she's surviving pretty well, really. I'm surprised. Did she get that guy? I think she did. Oh, good for her. Oh, not so good for her. So again, the narrative part, yes. If you're coming in hoping that the Far Cry story elements are strengthened in this particular... Oh, no, I'm just going to let her die. I'll move around a little bit so they can't see me, but I'll just revive her in a minute. If you're coming for the story, you're not going to find it. This is much like the other Far Cries. I honestly, and I think I've said this every time I've talked about the Far Cry games, none of them that I've ever played had any type of compelling story. That has never been a big deal to me. I've been fine with it. It's, it's just what it is. There, she's back in.
Glad for the invite. Who's into ya?
Okay, why can't I target that? Oh, she's not here yet.
Be there in a
There we
jiff.
go. So, it is an interesting playground. I think that what Far Cry has done well in New Dawn, that it has done in other good examples like Primal and Blood Dragon, is it has used the visuals to punch up the weakness of the storyline, which is weak. There's really not much to it. There isn't much of a story here. It's certainly nothing has come up that has made me all that interested as far as paying attention. It remains what it has always been good at, which is, again, a chaos sandbox. And in that way, it's completely flawless. It's still the same mechanics. So if you've liked the way Far Cry has played before now, nothing has changed. They haven't altered any of the fundamentals. And I think that's to the benefit of the game. I think that allows you to kind of step into this game and not be worried that you're going to get lost in it. Or if there's going to be some... they haven't really added... Well, I mean, if they've added anything new, I'm not aware of it. This all felt very familiar within 5 minutes of playing it. There was nothing that seemed, groundbreakingly new or anything to that. Why is she just standing there? Why is she not attempting to get that person? Oh, well, I just threw a rock for no reason. I'm gonna move her, and then maybe that'll kick her into gear to go get that guy. So far, just as so an idea of what's going on here, there have been no alarms tripped. She's been spotted, but I haven't, so the game doesn't care. The game only cares if you get spotted, which is, you know, sort of silly, but again, is it really any sillier than anything else? No. So I don't really care. This could get me spotted, but I also don't care if they spot me here, too. I mean, this is kind of a so what type of thing. Because... Oh, there's a huge... What do you call it there? Okay, killed that guy, then. At least I'm getting some spotting done now. So I'll utilize the pipes to try to shield me from sight. I can always jump off and parachute. Okay, that guy might be hard to get. Where is she? Oh, there she is. Okay. Is she going to get that guy? Oh, yeah. Maybe. Maybe. Maybe not. It's so funny because she doesn't necessarily go to the right spots. It's sort of a weakness of the companions. They're not always the smartest people. Okay, well, they're probably... Yeah, I'm sure you are. Oh, boy, they blew her up. Oh, they blew her up, but good. Oh, not good. Not good for her. I'll be fine. I'll just call her back in, so it's not a big deal. But this is kind of how it goes, and, you know, this... Oh, did she not die? Oh, she hasn't died yet. Okay, I'll wait. Uh-huh.
God, I'm such a cliche.
Yes, but it's always funny when you do it, Nana. Don't worry about it. At least you acknowledge your clichéness. So again, this is basically because I'm just trying to stockpile ethanol. There's really actually there's no major impetus to do this. It's just that it's easier for me to do the ethanol challenges by doing this. So she'll expire momentarily. Okay, let's get her back in. Revive. You're in. And reviving companions is pretty easy. It's just a matter of collecting plants. So she's going to come back. As soon as she comes back, then I will put her on this guy. Did I recall her or not? I didn't. My fault. All right. So once she's back in the fight here, no ally. What are you talking about? Assign. Okay. Okay, whatever. And this is another glitch that I've had before. No. I'm trying to jump off. I'm trying to jump off. Parachute. Head on down. There she is. So apparently it just didn't like it because I was in the binocular view. Which, sure. Like I said, not without its little glitches here and there. Let's see. Why don't you try that one? I don't know exactly who the clearest shot from where she is. So we'll give her that one. And probably once I finish this, that'll kind of wrap it up. But this is the flavor of the game. So essentially, you're not seeing, outside of going around and hunting for animals, exploring, this is just Far Cry 5.5. And again, I think for some people maybe that's a negative. It isn't for me because I enjoyed Far Cry 5. I like the mechanics of it. So it doesn't bother me that that's what this is. Okay. Wow, she is really inefficient this time. I mean, really, you can't... She hasn't killed anybody since I brought her back the last couple times. Okay, she got that guy. Good. She must have heard me. Yeah. Kill some people! I don't want to have to get involved! Oh, jeez. Okay. Let's bring in... Oh, I don't know. Actually, you know what? I haven't had her in a while. Let's bring her in.
When you need your sharpshooter.
Yeah, sure.
I'm on my way.
Alright, let's see how well she fares with her heavy weaponry. She might do better. It's possible. You know what? Actually, I will take a little bit of a handle in this. Fire that! Let's see if that does anything. Didn't.
They won't know what hit them.
Oh, I think they're going to know. You have a gun that's the size of my entire body. They're going to know what hit them. We'll start moving around here. Okay, caught on a rock. Move behind this. Get down. Where is she? There she is with her giant ammo belt. Oh, that whole thing is on fire. I didn't notice that before just now. Not that it's a big deal. I mean, fire... You don't have to put yourself out like you used to in the other games. Fire used to be a bigger problem. It has become... Wow, she really did take that guy out. Yeah, okay. So there should be one more kind of heavy guy wandering around here somewhere. But I might not have to worry about him too much, depending on how she does. Because I haven't seen him pop... Or maybe it's the next level where that happens. Okay. So she's sneaking around to get that guy. That's fine. Okay. Is she going to shoot him or she... No, she's going to go up and she's going to... Okay. Get this one and I think we're done. I think they only had the one heavy guy because Nana took him out. So I should, if that is in fact the last guy right there, I should get the undetected bonus for that. Oh, here she comes. And, oh no, there's somebody else. Oh, I see him. I see him. Is he a heavy? He is. Now, I could actually go get him. And maybe I will. I mean, there could be more other enemies. This is the one thing about not having Timber, is Timber will find all the enemies. But since nobody is even trying to spot me... Oh. Oh, uh-oh.
Finally! Thought you were bitching out for a
Okay.
sec.
Alright. Get him. Get him.
Chitty
That's
bang,
it.
murder
Yoo-hoo!
everything.
So now I'll get the undetected thing because basically I just let the companions do the work. I don't mind that. I mean, some people... to me, there's sort of a fun kind of strategy to that where you're just making sure you stay undetected as the companion does the work. For some people, they probably would play this the opposite. They'd probably go in there, and the game absolutely will let you do that. It will let you go in there and machine gun the whole place, not caring, and it has absolutely no judgment on that approach. So, is that her? Is that the sniper or dead body? That's hilarious. So, and as you see, I'm getting little pieces of, I guess, clothing. I don't ever change the clothing I'm wearing, so that's probably what that is. I don't even know how you change it, to be honest. I guess it must be in here. Character. Yeah, look at that, it is. I didn't really look at it. Let's see. I think these are all the default pieces of gear. Oh, that's not a bad look. I don't mind that. Let's see. Oh god, look at this. Ridiculous. Oh yeah, okay. I hadn't really looked at any of this stuff before. Okay. Yeah, none of these are particularly... None of this stuff is particularly interesting to me, I'll be honest. Wouldn't be bad to change the shirt. What do we have here? I have a knight's... okay, fighter ape. Yeah, alright. You know what? Actually, that costume is pretty good. I think I'm just going to go with that costume. A little bit better looking than just the standard, you know, whatever thing I was wearing. Yeah, that's not bad. I can roll with that. What's this? Oh, pants. Good grief. So anyway, that's Far Cry New Dawn. I mean, you just watched me do 2 of the... There's the perk points I was talking about, which you get plenty of them if you do the exploration. So I've already done all those. I can't really show them to you, unfortunately, because I've done them already. Because that was kind of... Ooh, Master Liberator. Okay. More perk points that I'm not even going to use. Although you can, they do let you upgrade certain things. So it's not like those points are useless. I just, you know, haven't used them in a while. But this is basically the game as it is. And like I said, if you played 5, you've basically played New Dawn. You know, that's kind of your benchmark. Or really, any of the games after 3. If you've liked any of the games after 3, then you will probably get something out of this, especially because of the reduced price point. And like I said, to some degree, I like the fact that it's a little shorter because, to me, that stops it from getting stale. It doesn't wear out its welcome. And it is a beautiful game. There's some really great color work. There's some beautiful structures. It kind of mixes that, you know, the post-nuclear wasteland, but with all this bright green where nature is retaken. As you can see, the enemies have these bright colors, which I think is really smart because it makes all the landscape pop, and you just run across. Plus, it gives you a really easy visual language. You know, you see this kind of graffiti, you know you're near some of the enemies, or at least an outpost that used to be theirs. But it's interesting because, you know, you have this giant dome that's obviously all beat up and decrepit, and then you see all this wonderful kind of graffiti work that's been done. So it makes the world feel different than just the standard kind of blown up Mad Max land, or what, you know, the last Far Cry, which was just kind of all the same nature over and over. There is a nice expansiveness to it. There's some nice visual stuff that's done. No shortage of side quests. If you look at the map, you'll actually see all the different things. All these little check marks are all different things. There's hunting, fishing. Haven't finished any of those yet. So again, if you really liked Far Cry 5 and you found it to be a fun game, you might actually like this slightly better because it combines all the good stuff that was in Far Cry 5 without being over long and overburdened with things to do. So anyway, I don't know if any of you guys are playing it. If you are, I'd be interested in what you think, and hope somewhat instructive if you were kind of thinking about the game. It is beautiful. It is fun to play. It is another Far Cry, though, so if you're looking for something like a change between, say, Assassin's Creed, I don't know what the one before, not Odyssey, but The difference between the Origins one, that difference is not here. This is still the same Far Cry formula. For some people like me, that's completely welcome, and it's in a smaller and tighter, to me anyway, experience, and I'm okay with that. So Far Cry New Dawn, I'm enjoying it, and it's nothing revolutionary, but it's still fun, and as long as the game stays fun, then I don't know that anything else really matters. So anyway, see you guys later.